Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nicola Melinda, and if we're just meeting for the first time, a warm welcome. I am an operations consultant and a ClickUp expert. My job is to help small businesses organise and automate the back end of their business. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through my top automations for 2023. So definitely stick around. If you are new to ClickUp, you can check out my ClickUp for Beginners video. I will link it somewhere or down below in the show notes for you. And if you are looking for some done for you support to get you up and running inside of ClickUp, you can also click the link in the description to book a call with myself, and we can talk to you about your needs and how we can help you in my agency. Now on to today's video. All right, so let's dive into some of the top automations inside of ClickUp. At the moment, you are actually inside of my ClickUp. This is my very own ClickUp account. So if you have not yet used the automations, let me just give you a quick tutorial in terms of how to find them and where they are. So I'm inside of just a standard list inside of ClickUp. There are two places where you can find the automations. The first is at the list settings where the mouse is right here. You can click on that three dots and go to list settings, and you'll find automations in this section. The next place where you can find automations in the list is at the top here. You've got automate, and again, if you click on automate, it pulls down all of the options there. In this sense, you can actually see that you can create some quick fire automations. So you can always add specific watchers, and you can always assign tasks to a specific person in this list. So that's a really quick fire automation. You're able to see what your active automations are, and then you can add new automations using this button. So quickly, in active automations, this pulls you into the automation dashboard, so to speak. So at the top, we've got three options. You've got browse, manage, and usage. Manage is where we are at the moment, and I can see all of the automations that are attached to this particular list. And I can see it's attached to this list because here it tells me the location. So it's telling me that it's in SHHQ, which is Systems House, my agency, marketing, inside of our marketing folder, inside of the content planner. Down below, I can see what some of the automations are. So we've got some active automations. We've also got some inactive automations. And you'll notice here that I have the description of what the automation is or what the actual automation is doing. But this is my own description that I have added in to let me know exactly what this automation does. So it says when a status changes, then change assignees. That doesn't tell me anything. This is a lot more specific in the description. It says that this assigns to Nicola when it's ready for review. So that is the status, and this is the person who is being assigned to. So at the top here, we can have a look at we've got some other options. We've got the triggers, the conditions, actions, and updated by. If we have a look at inactive, that's just a filter option here. And then we can have a look at the usage of our automation. So you can see how much I have used out of my automations for the month. But what we're really going to do is we're going to focus in this area, which is browse. Now, this area is really where you can create all the automations and workflows that are going to support you inside of ClickUp. So as you can see, we've got standard actions versus triggers. So the action is when this happens. So this is a standard action. We have lots of different options down below that allow us to choose what actions we want. Our triggers to be based off of. So the trigger is the then action. So when this happens, then do this. And then we have all of the options here of what can happen when we set our action. What are the triggers? And then you'll see that we have the options to add conditions, and we can add other actions as well. So this just adds more depth to the automations. I'll definitely do another video that just walks you through the automations and how you can really work. This is more me highlighting some of my favorite ClickUp automations that I'll be using for 2023, but I will do a separate video to show you exactly how you can build out more workflows inside of ClickUp, so stay tuned for that. So this is a standard task list that we have that we use within our team. And so some of the tasks I've just cleaned up a little bit. So there's not any assignees as such on this particular list. But as you can see, we've got different statuses, our tasks that are ready to start. We've got one that's in progress. We've also got one that's awaiting info. So these are all of the tasks that we have. Now, what I like to do in this particular scenario is I like to set up the automation. So I also use start dates and due dates for my tasks. So if we go over to our automations, active automations, you'll see that we have an automation in place that when a start date arrives, we're going to change the status and add a comment. So it's going to move the task from project planning to ready to start, and literally that is going to apply a comment for me and also to notify the team member that it is ready to begin. So you can see here that the action is when the start date arrives, it's going to change the status to start, and it's going to add a comment that the task is ready to begin. So this is just a reminder when you do, especially if you have tasks that go over a period of time, I find this is quite useful as a prompt. Instead of you always having to remember as a project manager to go in and remind your team, you've got that automation in place as well. So what we can do is we can definitely give this a go. I'm going to put a task into project planning mode, and I'm going to set a start date. So let's just say for now, I'm going to set the start date for Monday, the 30th, and to the 1st, I'm going to assign to myself. Okay, cool. Now, let's just say I changed the start date and I actually want it to start today, and the end date will be for tomorrow. So I'm currently doing this on the 14th of January. I'm going to get a notification or comment telling me that this task is ready to start, and it is going to update that task for me and put that into the to start board. So you can see that the automation has run. It's gone into today, so it's now updated the status. And if I open up the task, it will let me see that there is a comment in place. So ClickBot has commented, this task is ready to start. Okay, automation number 2 is another favorite of mine that I will definitely be using, and that is sending emails inside of ClickUp. So using ClickUp, you can actually connect your email account and automate your email process. So this is inside of my list for client support tickets, and you can see we've got a task in here called testing. And so this task is actually submitted via a ClickUp form, and then it comes into this list and is assigned, categorized automatically for me. What is great is that I can automate my support ticket process inside of this list. So these are all native ClickUp automations. So what you can see is we have 2 automations where we are sending an email. The first is when the task is created, and that is basically when the form is submitted. So when ClickUp when people submit a ClickUp form, if you don't have an automation in place, then they won't really be told that you've received the submission of the form. So what I like to do is connect my email. So we've connected our Systems House support team email, and then we can add in lots of smart fields here. We can let them know that we've received their request, and you can see that we can start personalizing it. So in this case, we are running this process for anyone that needs day rate support, so quick fire day support with us. We are acknowledging what they've added to the form. So we're pulling in information from the custom fields on the form into the email. So the date of the submission, the project type, and their request. And we're letting them know that their task has been set on this start date. So this is also part of the workflow. And we're also just encouraging them, if they have any questions, they can just contact us. And that is literally it. And what I also love about the email automations is that you can also add a signature as well. So if you click here, you can add in your signatures. So these are saved already. I can just click and add the support team signature straight into that email and click save, and that will save out for me. So when it sends the email, it's going to send to looking like from a normal inbox, and it's going to send to my client, so I don't have to worry about following up. If they need us, they can all obviously just drop us an email directly back from that email. So the next is when a status changes. So when we start doing the work, we want the clients to know that their project has started, the work has begun. So we have another automation that when the status changes, and it goes from any of the statuses that we have. So these are all of the statuses that we have for the support ticket, but it goes to in progress. That is the specific status I want to use to trigger to send this email. Again, we're going to send another email to let them know that your support is underway. Again, this is really just a courtesy to let our clients know that we are working on their tasks. We are doing what they need inside of their ClickUp. So this again is great for client experience. We are communicating with our clients, but we're not having to do the most. So inside, internally, all we are doing is just updating the status of where this task, where this support task is, but the automations are running in the background, and I love it. So you can see I'm jumping around my ClickUp today, and the next automation that I'm going to share with you is actually applying a template to new tasks that you create. So I'm going to actually do this one live with you guys. This is a task template that I've created as part of the She Taught Systems channel. So this is to help me prepare marketing materials for my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is actually save this down as a template. So I'm going to head over to the three dots, go to my template center, and save this as a template, and I'm going to call it marketing tasks. Yes, marketing task, and I'm literally just going to import everything and click save. So the next thing of what I want to do is create an automation to apply this task template whenever I create a new task. So I'm going to go to add automations, and I'm going to put when a task is created, and we're going to say I'll keep all of these for now, but you can actually decide how that task should be created, whether it's email, whether it's templates, duplications, automations. You can see you've got a lot of different options. I won't go into those options on this video, but I'm simply going to keep it as when a task is created. And then what I'm going to do is change this to apply a template. Now you'll see that I can actually select my template. So it's going to pull me into my template library. Now let's see, I called it STS Marketing. There we go. So I've just used the search tab above, and I'm going to use this template. So it's got all the custom fields that are already in place. All the statuses are set for that task. Now you'll see that I've got a warning up that tells me that templates can't be applied to tasks or subtasks that were created by templates, because I'm already applying a template. So that makes sense. So you'll see that my sources here in this list has actually, it's taken that option off for me. So we'll go ahead and we'll click create. And now I have that in my template, in my automations library. I can say that this apply the just move this up. We'll add a description. So we'll put apply the STS marketing task, and we'll close. And now what we'll do is we'll just create a new task. You know, I'll just go right here, new task. And again, we will just let the automations do its thing. What will happen is ClickUp will just update it, and you can see that it has populated with the subtasks, the custom fields, and all the stages that are needed for me to complete this task. And that is that. You can take it a step further. You can add your signees, you can add due dates as well. So that just makes it even more enhanced. So if I wanted to, I could go back and say, well, when that template is applied, let's go to edit. I can add an action. I can change the assignees to myself. And I can change the due dates. And when you're changing the due date, you get to decide how much time you need for that task. So I can hit save again. And here we go. So we'll let that run and you'll see that it will populate, it will apply the task template, it will assign it to myself, and it will set the due date for me as well for that task. You can see it's now set for next week, and then I can go ahead with the rest of my work. So another automation that I want to share, we are back inside of my client support ticket list, and this is actually moving our tasks from one list to another. At times where we are working, there are different stages where it's no longer relevant to keep this particular task in this particular list anymore. So we want to be able to move those tasks around. So if we go over to automations here, and we go to add automation, I'm going to make an automation that when the status changes, it's actually going to move that task for me, so I don't need to do anything. So I'm going to take it from any, and I am going to put it into that task. So we're going to select move to list, and moving it to list allows me to then select where do I want that task to actually sit. So I have created a completed list inside of my ClickUp completed requests. So we're going to move the task to completed requests, and I'm literally just going to, and there we go. So we will just have that move straight over to that new list. So now what will happen is if I set the status of this task, so this is a new support ticket, I'm actually just going to mark this down as complete. So it's going to actually close that task down. It's going to remove it from this view. There's nothing else inside of this list. But now if we come over to the completed requests, it doesn't look like there's anything here just yet. And that's because we've moved over a completed task. But actually, I've just clicked on the show close task, and you'll see that that task is now inside of this list. And what I'll do is I can click save so that this view is always open. So it's always going to show me what tasks are completed, but I don't have to do anything else. It's moved this task across. And if I open up the task, it's actually moved the task across with all of the information that is inside of the task card. So it's not me having to go back and do anything different or add any new information. It has literally moved that whole task across. This is a great automation if you are moving tasks into different lists to, for different team members to work on. If there are different stages in your projects or work around, but you want to keep the same information in the task card, this is a great way for you to do that automatically without having to worry about losing information in the process. I'm now back inside my client task list, and this next automation is really about helping us stay in the know when it comes to the work that we are doing within our team. So for example, I'm going to head over to automations again and click on add automations. Due date arrives, I want to apply a subtask, and I actually want to apply a comment to ask for a status update on this particular task if it is not completed. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that when a due date arrives, and let's just say, and the status is not any, and then we can choose what the status would be. So I might say if the status is not done, if it's not in client review, if it's not awaiting information or paused, those are the statuses that I want to track. And actually, if it's not closed as well, I want to track that. So then I'm going to apply a comment. So I can add my comment in, and basically I just want to use this as a way for me to check up and say, can you please provide a status on this task? So let's do that now. We'll just put a comment, please provide this task. It could be that your team are just a little bit overworked, a little bit stretched, or maybe they just haven't gotten around to updating the task, but they've done the work. This is just a good prompt for them to actually acknowledge. And then what you could do if you wanted to take it a step further is you can also apply the priority of the task. So you can hit change priority, and I might put this now as high priority and just flag it for them. So now what we're going to do is we're actually now tracking when the due date has arrived. So in this case, if I assign a task to myself and the start date is today and the due date is today, Then we're going to have an automation in place. As you can see, that the status is down as to start, so it's not done or completed or anything like that. So actually there's going to be a comment applied that's going to say, well, what is going on? So I know the automation has run because now the priority is marked as high, and it's also flagged the comment inside of the task card telling us to provide a status. Now, if you want to take it a step further, and if you are using a task list where you are specifically assigning tasks to a specific person, you can actually add the @ so you can add their name inside of the automation to make sure that they are called out effectively, and it will sit in their notifications, but they will still get the notifications even as an assignee. It will come up in their notifications panel as well inside of ClickUp. So those are the automations for 2023. Let me know in the comments which ones you are using, if any, and if there are any that you will look to incorporate inside of your setup. And I'm always curious to know what else others are doing inside of ClickUp. There are so many exciting ways that you can really optimize your platform for the enhanced efficiency. Now, in today's video, we obviously looked at automations internally within ClickUp. However, there are other ways that you can automate your process where it incorporates external apps, and there are other integrations that you can use, and I'll cover that topic in another video. Drop a comment below if you would like to see me talk more about using ClickUp and Zapier together and talking about more of these integrations as well. In the meantime, if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do to follow along for new notifications of videos, and I will see you in the next one.